Stop right there. Yeah, you. If you like all things entertainment, current events, or Hollywood, then look no further. Creator to Creators, hosted by director Meosha of Horror Noir, interviews filmmakers and creatives from around the world. Join in on the fun, guest celebrities, and informative information to have as a creator. Hit subscribe and stay connected to Creator to Creators. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Creator to Creators today. Today, we have a special guest in the house.
Hi, Julia White.
Hello, Julia. How are you, darling?
I'm good. Just back from some spooky Halloween shopping.
Ooh, that's exciting. Are you excited for Halloween?
I am the most excited for Halloween. I feel I feel very much like the mayor on a Nightmare Before Christmas. It's like as soon as it's over, I'm like another 364 days.
I love that. Are you dressing up?
Oh yeah, 100%. I got two
Oh,
costumes this year. Just
two costumes.
two costumes and no plans, but I mean that's pretty much my Halloween. You're like, you know what, one way or another, I
There
just
we
watch
go.
movies.
Yeah.
Right. It's actually the Beetlejuice masks, like the husband and wife one.
Ooh,
So
that's
it'll just be
fun.
me and my boyfriend sitting on the couch with those masks watching Beetlejuice.
You have to take a picture to post that. You're just like, this is our Halloween. You guys had a full outfit.
100%.
Love it. I love it. Okay, so I know how amazing and uber talented you are. That's why I'm just so happy to talk to you on the show. And I mean, the show's talks about, like, we talk to creatives around the world, and you are an amazing creator. So for those who don't know you, please, I could start from the beginning. Like, how did you like get into it, and like what was your childhood like when you were growing up?
Yeah, so I my childhood definitely influenced a lot of it. My mom was actually a producer and still is producing, and she just kind of did everything. She just had that like go getter, I'm gonna do it on my own spirit. So she actually ran a little production company on the back of her house. So I was just always around people, drawing up storyboards and kind of creating and workshopping. So that was something that I always wanted to do. And yeah, I think that was also one of the things that made me not really think twice about it being a woman, because that she just kind of did it. And I was like, yeah, I guess this is just a thing that we all do, and let's go for it. So that shaped a lot of it.
That go-getters mentality. I love it. Love
Yeah, and
that.
I just also watched an incredible amount of movies and TV being an only child. I think that's such a common thing. Like you create your own friends, in all those different films. And so, yeah, I just wanted to keep doing that, but get paid for it.
There we go. Even better. Like, I think it's so cool when you can get paid to do what you love to do. Because I think most of majority of the world, right, society, 9 to 5 is just, people are just miserable. They settle for, I think a lot of people have dreams and goals and aspirations, but I think it's just fear that just kind of holds people back up, like, oh, what if I don't get it? Or I don't know if I'm good enough. But I find it very cool when I meet people that just kind of just like, you know what, we're just doing it. Even if you don't have a clear path, right, to whatever it is, or know where you're gonna land, you just, well, you live once, why not? Let's go for it. Like, I love that.
Right. And I do think, I'm sure, I don't know if it's the same for you, but especially with filmmakers, it's almost like that thing where you can't not do it. Like I'm almost envious of people who can 9 to 5, because I cannot. Like I even for school I couldn't. Like I just am not good at it. So when I see people who can do that, I'm like, wow, you are a balanced individual. Like I
Right.
just have these crazy dreams and have to write on whiteboard slash my wall, and I'm like, this is caveman mentality, but I'm into it.
I'm
But
here for
you
that.
kind of have to have it sometimes in this business, like just that laser focus.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I'm super jealous when I see people, like, just going to school and just passing and graduating. You're just like, yeah, that wasn't me. That wasn't my life
Yeah,
at all. It was a
yeah.
struggle for school. I was like, what is happening?
Oh, for sure, 100%. I was that kid that was always like, but why? And they're like, enough with the questions. This is math. Like you can't, there is a why. I think my math teacher was probably the only one that didn't get any fights from me because I'm just like, yeah, no, I see the logic there.
What was your favorite subject in high school?
Ooh, lunch. Maybe.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
also
you're definitely a
still fond of
filmmaker for sure. Yeah.
it. Yeah, I don't, I did like English. I wasn't fond of like a lot of the books that they taught there. I really liked reading just anything that wasn't in the library. I don't know, just maybe partly to be a little shit and also just because it was more entertaining. I don't know how many times one can read like Winn Dixie or whatever it is. Tuck Everlasting. But it was always a good day when someone wheeled out like the VHS. Like that's, I don't know if kids get that now, but it was a good feeling.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, the VHS. Oh God, I remember those days. I thought I was like killing it when I was recording on a VHS camera. I was like, "Oh, look, guys, just check out the video," and I pop it in, and everyone watching all the videos I made. Mom's like, "Oh, this is so good," but I'm like, I really thought I was like amazing back then. But God, we come a long way. I love what the era that we're in now. Like digital is great. I love it.
It is, but I mean that shows so much on your part just to do it back then though, because like that's something I never did, honestly, was make movies. I mean, I'm still afraid of technology. So the whole Be Kind Rewind, like I was like, I can't even attempt to work at Blockbuster. So yeah, camera and operating it when it was just so much more analog and you didn't have the iPhone now. Like I'm really
Yeah.
impressed with filmmakers who went and dabbled in that. I mean, I was just watching Edgar Wright's BBC Masterclass and he was talking about I think it was called smash editing, but the way he was able to do it like with VHS recorder to VHS recorder.
Ah.
It sounds and like the same thing as editing on a typewriter, which is consuming, but probably really valuable. Like I guess you really do have to sit and your project inside and out.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, that's cool though. Yeah, like I admire like I think he's absolutely talented, by the way. So, so good. So good. He's from England?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
that's right.
definitely. He has the what's he called? The Cornetto trilogy, Hot Fuzz and
Oh, yeah, yeah,
World's
yeah.
End and Shaun of the Dead. Yeah.
That I
Those
like that one. That was
are
good.
talent.
So okay, so you get older and obviously, you're in the creative world. You're kind of, born your mom. I mean, it's like holy crap, like the natural progression just to go, into that world of the creative field. When did you kind of get the like aha moment of like, yeah, this is it. This is for me.
Uh,
For real, for real.
I was kind of roundabout, even though my mom was a producer at the time. Like I said, it was a lot of stuff she was trying to get going that was on a smaller scale. So it was around me, but it wasn't something that I was like, oh, this is 100% the thing that I'm going to do.
Mm.
At the time, I think so. When I was 4, my mom took me to go see Jaws for the first time in theaters, and it was at a Directors Guild screening at Universal. So it was full of tons of adults just wanting to have an amazing experience and not have a 4-year-old in the crowd. So my mom got lovely looks there, and made sure to assure everybody that I'd seen it tons of times and knew the whole thing. And it's a faint memory for me, but I just remember that experience of seeing it in the theater and like laughing at the points you're supposed to laugh and being scared at those parts. And legend has it supposedly that people walked up to my mom and were like, oh yeah, it's actually, she seems to understand the movie, which is probably true, or maybe just her being like, I didn't traumatize you. But either way, it's still my favorite movie to this day. I thought I actually wanted to do marine biology because I got so obsessed
Wow,
with sharks because of the movie.
that's
So
incredible.
it wasn't until I realized that I liked sharks and am meh on science that I was like, you know what, movies are the way. So I was probably at least like 18 by the time I was really pursuing writing and had kind of circled back. And at that point was trying to figure out, what the individual roles were, which I mean,
Mm.
I think I'm still trying to figure out what a producer is. And I think half this town might still be trying to figure that out. At the time, it was, I think writing is where I landed because it was out of necessity for
Mm.
a project my mom was doing. I actually wrote it all out in a Word document, like as a quote unquote script, and having no idea that like final draft or anything.
Now that's awesome. That's so
So it's
cool.
very, very roundabout. It's like I think we're all like that. We get into it in such eclectic ways. There's
Mhm.
no one.
It's so cool how it just put like leave a mark on your on you, like, what, that's the film, like because obviously it's a classic, that's a classic movie till this day. I mean, Spielberg, I mean, come on,
Yeah.
We love him. He's the goat, as they say. I try to be like a millennial these days, but I find that I'm not as cool as I think. Like when it comes out, I'm like, yeah, it's not as cool as it sounds, but
I am not good at that at all. Like, said somebody asked me what's Gucci, and I text back not once but twice what a luxury brand is, and asked it was like a perfume or a bag. Like it was the least cool conversation one.
oh, so great. No, but you're cool. You're cool regardless. You're
Mhm.
writing and doing amazing things. So okay, so now, fast forward, you're writing and doing your thing. What kind, like what inspires you as a writer? Like what kind of, like when you get a story, like you're like, I want to talk about this. Like what is it that, like, I want to write about this. I want to talk about this.
Usually I didn't start seeing a pattern until looking back at some of my scripts, but they're usually kind of about grief and death in a way and
Mm.
accepting it. And I'm not very good at being particularly serious. So I usually inject some level of comedy into it. Plus, having been through several funerals myself, and just
Mm.
there's a lot of kind of family tragedy early on in the years. And so it was something that I just didn't really have the words for back then. And as I got older and started writing and being able to put it into narratives, it became really healing to, watch other characters kind of go through grief successfully or unsuccessfully, which
Yeah.
was me back then to a degree. So yeah, a lot of it is about that. A lot of the movies I love are about that as well.
Mm. Mm.
Um, but I think as I get more into directing, part of why it took me so long to realize I wanted to make movies is because I also really wanted to do everything I saw in the movies. Like I was like, I saw a fighting movie. I'm like, I'm gonna be a boxer, and I was like, I'm a marine biologist. So I also get attracted to writing stories about things that I wish I could do or careers I wish I could have if I had time to have 100 lives.
Right. So
It's really
cool.
the only way to live it.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so I feel like writing is such a, I don't know, tedious thing. I
100%.
like it now. Like I'm not get a lot of people were like, "Oh yeah, you were writing back then?" Like no. Like I commend writers. I commend you. Like, I bow down to you because it's such discipline to like sit there and just let it just flow or whatever that just keep typing.
Espresso, a little bit of
Yeah.
scotch.
Oh, that's
Uh,
interesting.
yeah,
Ah, you little
insomnia, you get like an interesting first
ah.
draft you can work from.
I gotta thank you. What a great tip. Thanks. Thank you.
99% of writing. At least that's what I've been told or tell myself. I didn't realize you didn't write earlier stuff though. When did you actually start writing?
So it's so funny. I was terrified of writing. So I would have these like ideas and I'm just like, that'll be interesting to see. So I'd get some friends who could write or something, or just kind of I would do the storyboard myself, but I would be like, okay, I want this to happen. So how do I put that to the like, can you do this? Because like I don't know. And I think for me, it was like I think it stems from like school, and I was terrified of English and writing and all that, and even in high school. So it took me a minute to get to it, and then I finally. It's so funny. There was this. So I did a little writing here and there, but nothing too crazy. And I just kind of stuffed them away, and then I got I got into it maybe roughly 6 years ago, possibly. There was a group that contacted me during pandemic, and they were like, "Hey, we're looking for another writer to be part of the group, and we want you. We've been taught we someone referred you to us," and I was like, "What?" I was thinking to myself, but in that time, I was like, you know what? I want to do something that scares me, so like really take it seriously. And then I'm learning for the pros. These guys are like doing television writing, and they've done like all kind of like films and series. And I'm like, I could learn. Like the perfect timing was like God was like, all right, you're gonna write something. So I learned so much during that time. So
That's amazing. And I mean,
yeah,
think you've just always had that inherent sense of story. And I think that's what freaks people out about writing and directing is that feeling that the technical isn't there yet, so they can't start in.
yeah,
But if you have that inherent sense of story, like you have like storyboarding or, all the anything that us creators have, I think at least writing can be taught. There are softwares for it. There are things that make it less scary. Like even for me realizing that I wasn't my own DP, I was like, oh, I get it now. So it's just things like that. It's just exciting to hear people take those leaps and have mentors actually help them, because without it, it can definitely be like a bit daunting for sure.
For
I
sure.
think there's just this like screenwriting Twitter has definitely made, I don't know, writing, and it's not that it's not rocket science. It's definitely really hard and tedious and lonely, but there's something about, I don't know, the culture, especially with screenwriting Twitter, that I think they make it feel so much more impossible than it is. Like everyone has to know how to do the slug lines immediately, or you won't be read, or we can't see, we see, and like all of those rules are fine and there for a reason. But
Hey guys, it's filmmaker Meosha Bean. MVB Films partnered with Gore Culture, your first stop for all things horror-related content. I'm doing a 6-episode of real-life horror crime stories on the platform called It's Evil, Real Alabama Cases. Premieres exclusively on goreculture.com, September 6th, 2022. That's the only way to listen. Follow goreculture.com, your preferred source for the latest thriller, sci-fi, horror films, news, scary videos, trailers, and much more. See you there.
But I think you can read somebody's script written in crayon and know if they can tell a story, and then, you know, teach them a software from there.
Absolutely. I don't think there's a format, honestly. I'm such a rebel when it comes to you know, even when at film school, like I was you know, you're taught a certain way and they're like, this is it and this is how it's gonna be and yada yada yada. And I'm just like, but why? Like,
Exactly.
but like I don't want to do it that way. Like I don't see it that, like I like to challenge that. Like I want to do it the unconventional way that and still come out with a good product. And
Especially
I
as a director too, right? Because like
yeah.
you always wrote to direct your own things,
Hmm.
right? Or did you write for like contests and things like that?
Some, well, a few, but mainly just to direct. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like writing those scripts a lot more because
Oh
it's, you know, it's
yeah.
the contest ones that I find you do run into needing some more, you know, like you want to make sure it's formatted a certain way. And basically just
Mm,
like the most easy read possible when you know you've got someone reading, you know, hundreds and hundreds of scripts beforehand. So you
yeah.
start kind of factoring that stuff in. I love writing for yourself because you know your stage direction. You're like, I don't care if I did a put a comma here.
Right.
Acting.
Look, I've read so many scripts from so many different people and who writers and writer directors, and I'm just like, wow, everyone has a different format. I mean, obviously there's a you know, there's that format of like the structure of what it would look like a script would look like, yeah. But like, I mean, like just how people write. Like, one guy, oh, I don't want to say his name, but he's a fantastic writer. He's so descriptive. I'm like, holy crap, I have to get more like that. That is like, I felt like I was being like made love to as I was reading his story. I was like, this guy is really descriptive. I love it. And I just kind of take bits and pieces from people. I'm like, that's good. I'm not as descriptive as that, but I do like, I like that though. That was, yeah.
Nice to read that. People like that I feel like would be great at writing novels, whereas I feel like I'm an okay screenwriter but would not even pretend to write a novel. It's like
You never know.
that is some serious writing dedication. Like I love in scripts you're like, and then they went into the office and they did not describe how the light hit their face or how the dust slightly settled on the window. So I want to read about it, but like don't ask me for it.
Ask me. I love it. I love it. Is there anyone on your bucket list that you would like your dream person that you like to work with and say, you know what, that person, I want to work with that person, get into my
Oh
project.
man. The ghost of Joss Whedon. I feel like I have to keep changing my answers every 3 to 6 months. No, I think right now probably um, I want to say like Edgar Wright or James Gunn because I just love a lot of their movies right
Ooh,
now, and I feel
yeah.
like we have the exact same sense of humor. But
Hmm.
if I could pick one person, I feel like it has to be Steven Spielberg because he's like
I
alive
mean,
right now, and I mean like that'd be insane just to And he's one of those people too that you hear all these stories about movies that he didn't even produce, and someone's like, "Oh yeah," and then I asked Steven and he just fixed the movie. It's like he just has this insane brain, and I can't imagine having a chance to work with him on anything.
Oh,
That'd be, that'd be him.
that would be such a full circle moment though for you. It'd be like, oh my God.
Right? I'm like, I'm obsessed with the movie that gave you PTSD.
Thank you.
That's my favorite story about him, is that he just like went to the orca on the lot and just sat there and was like, oh my God. Just like his own little war story.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's
I
great.
can imagine like the shark not working.
Oh,
The shark's not working. We actually had a very tiny, silly version of that on our set where we had we're sponsored by dildos, actually, our short film. And
really?
yeah, and it is a ridiculous looking dildo in the best way. Like it goes, and yeah, it's great. So the dildo
Oh,
sent us over some hero
hilarious.
dildo. And we threw it a couple times because there's a moment where, as it happens, of course, someone's pointing a dildo at somebody and someone else points a gun at them. And so naturally they dildo loses and throw it. And we threw the dildo so many times that it stopped working. And so we're like, the dildo's not working. The dildo's not working. I was like, this
Oh
is
my
my job
God.
moment.
Oh, yes, yes,
So
exactly.
I'll tell Steven Spielberg that and he'll be like, no.
Oh my God, that's great. Oh, you have to, whenever you have the behind the scenes, you have to put that in. Like if you have that, please put that in. That is so
Yeah,
great. Oh, that's so good.
we do
That'll be
have
a meme.
a close-up of the dildo in our end crawl, sponsored by Bombex. Thanks, Bombex.
Oh, I love it. You've never done stand-up?
No, I'm
What?
terrified to speak like in front of anybody. That's just so not my thing.
Wow, I can totally see. Listen, I could totally see that in the future. I literally like for those who are listening, like first of all, she's so funny. Like you're hilarious. Like you have no idea. Like
Did you smoke before we did this? Do it again.
rock on. YOLO. So tell me about, let's talk about your project that you actually that it's done right now. It's
Yeah,
done,
my
right?
dildo sponsor project. Yeah, let's do
Yeah. Let's
it.
what inspired that and like tell us the process of that and where do you see that going?
Yeah, so the basically I had a script that I wrote that's a feature horror comedy, and I always knew that I wanted to direct it, but had never directed anything previously and just thought, oh well, I'll shop it around, and a mentor that I have was like, no, I think it needs to be you and you should just direct a short film that's pretty much in the same vein. And I think she had a wonderful recommendation of doing something that was similar but different than trying to do a proof of concept of the film. Because
Mhm.
sometimes you do run into that. If it doesn't go the way it planned, everyone's like, well, I don't want to make an hour version of this nonsense, So I decided to do something a little bit different.
Right.
And it is called Fuck, Marry, Kill, because I just thought, let's give the festivals a really hard time.
Yes.
And it's based, so it's about a couple who goes like kind of high Hollywood couple, like Meg Ryan, Tom Hanks, or whatever the contemporary version is. Amber Heard, Johnny Depp, I hope not, but they're basically going through a divorce that's somehow less petty. And
Yeah.
hire a robber to steal some of the things that they're going to lose in the divorce. And it
Mm.
goes terribly awry for them. And it's based kind of off of a home invasion I had when I was a kid, that I was not a celebrity couple. And it was much less ridiculous, but also not. The whole thing, basically, we lived in Roxbury at the point, and we
Mm.
were renting a house, probably the only people renting in this
Wow.
neighborhood.
Wow.
And so we were not doing well financially. And this Robert, I guess, had cased out everything and was just really bad at his job. Because, like,
Wow.
could have picked anyone else. And my mom at the time was actually on the phone with a credit card company and was like, yeah, we're not going to make that. And like, in comes the robber. He's like, give me your money. And we're like, what money?
Whoa.
Which was just hilarious in hindsight, because I was like, dude, you're in LA. Come on, do better. But
Yeah, it's like
um actually, she hadn't she had like just changed had the assistant change the safe, and so she didn't know the passcode, and this was like back in the early 2000s, so she's like handing him this like phone book, like,
Wow.
here, you can figure it out. And I was away from them at that point, but she's basically like, yeah, by the time he was out, he's like, get me away from these crazy people. And we're like, okay, so
Wow.
he's like, I'm out of this house, I didn't plan well, like this is just not go my way. So obviously he left. Nobody was hurt.
Good,
There
thank
was a
God.
point that my godfather, though, was going to, I guess, try to defend us later on, and had a knife like in the back of his pants, but pointed down. I was like, oh my God, this is going to end so badly for you. So we just gave him a lot of shit for that, and kind of really laughed at this for like a long time. I mean, it's not that it wasn't traumatizing or awful, but we're like, man, home invasions can go really badly if you don't plan them. Like, this guy could
Right.
be research. So I kind of wanted to make a robber that was sort of like that, a little less
Yeah.
obvious, but also like, yeah, this is gonna work out for you. So I kind of, I guess that's the running theme of a lot of my projects, is taking things that have happened that are traumatic and just laughing at them, because I just think that's the best way to go through it. And sometimes you don't even realize that you're doing it fully until it happens. Like, there was moments on set where I was like, something would be set up and I was like, oh, trauma, I see what I did, gotcha. uh, and though, but I mean, that's what's fun about filmmaking, is just completely turning it on its head. And I was like, this is, who needs therapy? Well, me, but also.
Oh my God. No, a fantastic job, by the way. Great, great work. Great work.
It was,
Yeah.
I,
Happy, excited for you.
it was so much fun. It was really like summer camp, like getting to make it with all of friends, and just incredibly talented new people that I met that I'll, love to work with in the future. That was my favorite part about all of this, is just meeting some like really amazing people and going like, oh, this is the team. Like, I
Yeah.
want to work with them forever. So that
Yeah.
was great.
I love it when it's like a great team and it's a great vibe and everybody's just there to just like have a good time and work and do their job. Love those sets for sure. Love
Mostly women, actually. We had like, I think it was 75%. Once I realized I was gonna do the thing and, be the one to hire everyone, I was like, oh, it's gonna be ladies, all the ladies.
Yes.
So we had a female DP, Marcela Beatriz Mendez, who was amazing. She's like this tiny powerhouse.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, and our first AC was female as well. It was, yeah, pretty much most of us. So it was really great. It was a really cool environment. Everyone was, I mean, we had 3 days to film 21 pages and
Right.
stunts and blood and all the nonsense. And we kept a really good vibe all the way through, which is
Awesome.
just not something you can say for every set. So I was like, you know what? I'll take the win.
Yeah, congratulations on that. I mean, I'm excited for you and for people to see this. When do you think it'll be?
Well, I'm actually, South by deadline is the 18th. So we're gonna be submitting to South by. And so yeah, it better be done by the 18th. I tell myself every day. So hopefully then. But I think being released to the public, in whatever form that's going to be, it would probably be in like November. We're still trying to figure out exactly the best way. But we did submit to Slam Dance and South by, which I think are just so much. There's such great festivals for like our kind of genres that we
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
I, not that I don't love Sundance. I don't know how much Sundance would love me, but I think I'd be in good company in those places. So
Definitely. Oh, I'm so excited for you. I'm so happy. Well, congratulations on that. I like to ask every guest, loyalty or respect, which one would you choose and why?
ooh, I would go respect, because I think loyalty should come from a place of respect, not, like, loyalty can come from fear and a lot of other things, which I wouldn't want. But I would say self-respect first and foremost, and then respect for me, and then hopefully loyalty follows.
I like it. I like it. RESPCT. I'm kidding. Um,
Yeah, exactly.
where can
Yes.
where can people find you on line so they can follow all the amazing things you have coming down the pipeline?
Oh man, let me look that up, because I am barely online. Honestly, I am such a lurker online. I like never post. I think I posted the first thing in like 6 months yesterday, and it was just, has anybody else seen Chainsaw Man? Because it's amazing, and I know
Everyone's been talking about it. I gotta watch that too. I gotta watch that too. Yeah.
it's basically like John Wick in his final form. Like
Oh
that's,
wow. Okay.
or what I assume it is. I'm
Nice.
like, what am I? I'm Julia White 777.
Hey, it's a great number too. I love seven. Seven's a good number. Thank you so much for coming on. It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for having time for us. It's always a wonderful seeing you. And yeah, keep killing it, girl.
Thank you for having me on, and just, yeah, keep doing all the amazing things you're doing. You've got so many projects. I'm so excited to see them. And yeah, congratulations on everything.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you all for listening. And always remember to live, love, laugh. See you guys next time.